Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about being 50 and programming. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, what career advice would you give to the software engineer approaching 50 years of age in order to stay employed? Well, I hope that you have done more than just the code monkey thing and just churning out stories, because now at at that age that you find yourself, there are two things that are going to determine whether or not, for the most part at the very least, how valuable you are on the market. It's going to come down to your personality and your experience level, like the quality experience that you have. Do you have a good mindset around software engineering and management and dealing with stakeholders and so forth? Can you, in a very efficient and very professional and suave way, move within the ecosystem that you find yourself in? Because if you're perceived as being this kind of wishy-washy person who doesn't really don't know that all that much, you can't be assertive, you can't make decisions, and you don't really know how to keep up with the 30 somethings or the late 20s something, which is going to be the vast majority of your, well, in some cases the 40s as well. If you can't keep up with people and you don't have relevant skills, uh, you're gonna probably have to start your own company or go into an alternative role. You can have what I suggest is, if you're unsure about this stuff, is to go and talk to the recruiters. The recruiters usually have a very, very good understanding of the types of profiles of people that they usually find for different roles, and that's exactly what you're looking for. You're trying to understand what type of person or type of role that you are, like in terms of profiles that they're looking for, and where that would fit. But on average, this is the thing that you really need to think about when you're getting to be a little bit older as a developer. And this is why I argue that if you really want to stay as a software developer for the longest time, you need to maintain over a very long career, usually, a fairly high level of interest and passion. You don't have to be a zealot. You just have to be genuinely interested in continuously learning, continuously keeping yourself up to date, and always staying hungry for understanding how to solve problems, new tooling, and so forth. That's a very good thing. But you should not neglect the importance of learning leadership and soft skills, things of this nature. Because I can tell you right now, the people that are friends, like I have friends who are in their 50s and old coworkers who are in their 50s, and the ones that really actually, like the ones who stay in the business and really do really well even at this age, are usually the people who either transitioned a long time ago to product management or any role that is more focused on the experience of the individual and the person than anything else. These are management positions. If you have many, I mean, that's the thing that usually happens for developers that get a little bit older. They go into some type of management role, and it's very simple. The reason why they can do that is because they know what the deal is. They know how it works with all the programmers. And now the thing that remains is your personal aptitude. Because if you're going to be a manager, it's much more important that you're a nice person. So hopefully you haven't been a lone wolf type of social introvert that's never really talked to anybody, because then nobody's going to hire you as a manager, because you simply you're now switching from just doing the coding to actually making other people productive and able to code, and now you need people skills. So that's why you cannot, I've said this so many times before, you cannot neglect this, guys, if you want to have a long career. If you just want to stay focused on the coding, even if you don't want to be a manager, it's the same rules still apply. Because when you get to a certain age, you still have to remember that you are dependent on people, and people are going to judge you. I know for a fact that you can get a job at like 50 years of age as a software developer, because we've hired people like that, and we've had people who are, as I said, I have friends who have been able to do this. It is, your market value has definitely dropped, but if you are a lovely person, you have a lot of experience, and like people get a really good impression from talking to you, which is usually I mean, nobody's going to question your your coding skills. They're gonna test you, but nobody's gonna go, oh no, we cannot possibly get somebody who's been working for 30 years. That's not gonna be the issue. That's already covered because you have so much proof that you know how to work in this industry. What's the concern is going to be is if those skills are relevant, like have you been keeping up to date, are you still hungry, because they don't want some lazy person who's just going to, kind of, yeah, I'm just going to ride at this place until I go into retirement, right? They're going to look for somebody who has energy, who's actually interested in being there. And if you can find someone who has your experience and still has the passion and the hunger and the energy and the skills that are relevant, that's like a gold mine for a lot of companies. There are companies, I mean even my own included, that will actually look for people to complement the younger developers that we have, because you can't just have juniors. You have to have people who really know their shit to make those really big important decisions. And that's the sort of person that you should be. If you are that sort of person, if you have been paying attention, if you have been doing more than only typing in lines of code, and you've been involved in planning of work and grooming of stories and talking to stakeholders, having a business mindset, having all of these soft skills that we keep on talking about on top of those massive coding experience skills that you have, you will find most likely that, yeah, you might have to deal with a little bit of age prejudice, but I'm you should be able to actually find more work and secure your future. If it doesn't work out that way, even with those skills, you will have most likely what it takes to become like your own company, start your own thing or something like that. So what I want you to take away from this is that the best career advice I can give somebody who's reaching like the almost getting to closer to a retirement age is that the age does factor in for a lot of people or for a lot of companies, but you have to also understand the reason why the age factors in. One part, it's not like people just hate people. Like it's not like every person who's like 30 or 40 is just going to be, oh no, this person has reached 50. Oh my God, what what a disgusting thing, right? You're basically in many ways, of course not in all ways, at the same sort of maturity level. You're middle-aged. Congratulations, you reached the middle. The thing that's going to the reason why the age thing is a factor is because there is a prejudice against the older you get, the less relevant skills you will have, the more tired you're going to be, the less enthusiastic, and like you're not going to be hungry anymore. If you can very clearly show that that's not you, and I have met people who are in their mid 50s that have more energy than the guys and girls in their 20s. Guess how fast they got hired? With that amount of years of experience and that level of energy, there was a no-brainer. And this was in a company where the average age rate was about 25. No discussion. You're going to be here because you have the passion and the energy and the massive amounts of experience that is going to really help lift up this company. That is what you should be focusing on. And you get there by having daily interactions and social skill development with coworkers and stakeholders, because once you get to a point where you can move within the ecosystem, you're pretty much set there. If this is not feasible for you, you should really have a think about talking to some recruiters about, okay, alternative roles, what type of profile do I fit in the ecosystem in IT and so forth. And the last option I would say is start your own company, because if you have a lot of years of experience, you might be able to do quite a lot of freelance work in some cases probably at a much higher level than the average freelancer. Have a great day.